And no one believed in it to begin with, right? So when we first came back and we wanted
Why
to do
is
this,
that?
because like you said, there didn't seem to be a market. There was no data available. People were still, nothing was digitized at that time.
And this is 2019.
It's 2019. I mean, a lot has happened in the last few years.
Yeah.
Pakistan's digitization accelerated a lot, And even when we started, just as an example, cash and delivery was 95% of all of our orders. Today, we have zero cash on delivery. So
Wow.
things have changed a lot.
95% to zero. You have zero
Yeah,
cash on
zero,
delivery.
Zero at this point.
How many orders per day?
Per day, probably a few hundred, 200-300 orders.
So it's finally frictionless.
Yeah. So COVID really helped us with
Accelerate.
that. Yeah.
But you had to survive COVID to get
We
there.
had to survive COVID. And, that was tough. We had to do a lot of different things. It wasn't just a pivot of the current model in Ticketwala. We had to open an entirely separate company to help sustain Ticketwala as well. So there's a lot of different things that we tried out during that time. And, we took the personal hits in terms of obviously no salaries and all of that stuff as well. So it's tough, but it was an incredible learning experience. And, so just as an example, right now, when we had this whole India-Pakistan stuff that happened, it wasn't as scary as what would have been had we not gone through COVID, because we knew we survived, we knew what we need to do. And in fact, it's actually pushed us a little more after that happened, because there was a little red alert that happened that, oh shit, something like this might happen again. And so, you better make sure you have your runway. And so going back into the finances and seeing, okay, what things should we change to be safe in case something like that does happen again. Because you grow, things evolve, your costs go up as well. So if something like COVID happened today, it would be very, very different. Our costs are 10x, 20x of what they were back then.